Hello and welcome to AP US History for the 2000-2001 school year. I'm super excited to welcome you into our classroom. It's not exactly the same open house we would normally have, but regardless of that, we're going to have a great year, whether we're online, whether we're in person, or a mix of both. I do want to tell you a little bit about AP US History, or APUSH as many of your students will end up calling it. It is a year-long course, so you should have turning points in American history first semester in the fall, and then you should have AP US History in the spring. Turning points is the honors credit, and AP US History is the AP credit. Now, because they are getting an honors credit in the fall, they will be able to rewrite essays and earn a little bit of extra points to kind of balance that out throughout the year. But I do want to tell you a little bit about the course, and then I want to get some information from you towards the end of this video. So just kind of stay tuned and hang in there with me. It'll only be about 5-10 minutes or so for us to get through it. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course. We will start out covering 9 periods from beginning to end of the course. And we're going to start out with pre-Columbian, so about 1491 to 1607 to Jamestown. And we're going to continue throughout the course covering, period by period, and throughout building in essay writing and building in skills that we're going to talk about. So we will actually cover from about 1491, and we will get to as close to today as possible. Typically early 2000s, we always get there at the very least. So you will get a full curriculum. Last year we got cut a little bit short, but on average we get to the early 2000s at the very least. So your student will be well prepared and have a large amount of United States history that we will be covering this year. Let's talk about some skills real quick. So there are several skills that your students will be learning throughout the course. Many of them they already know, and we're just going to continue to develop those skills. This will help them towards college, being able to be strong writers, strong discussers, communicators within their college courses as well as throughout high school. So definitely developments and processes, really understanding chronology and what causes, what effects we see in American history. We'll also be covering sourcing and situations. So we're going to look at a lot of primary sources. We're going to be doing a lot of primary source and secondary source analysis, both visual, like political cartoons, as well as written sources as well. We will be covering claims and evidence. So when your student is talking about something towards the middle to the end of the year, they should be very, very well versed in being able to provide evidence for what they're saying, and not just provide the evidence, but explain how that evidence proves whatever argument they're trying to make. And that's something we will be very focused on in our writing in particular. Also providing context to situations will be another skill we will be covering, and making connections between various time periods or various events in one time period. We'll be working on that. And finally, argumentation. And with argumentation, really developing the skill of creating a thesis, crafting that statement, and then following it through your essay, providing evidence, all of those previous skills that we talked about, context and others, and developing a strong argument to prove your thesis statement. So all of those skills will be incorporated in our course. From beginning to end, we're going to be building on those, and hopefully they will be able to carry those skills with them afterwards as well. Now, all of this, yes, we will have an exam at the end of fall semester for turning points in class, and we're going to have an exam for the end of the spring semester we'll talk about later, but they're also preparing for the AP exam to get college credit, hopefully, if they can score a 3 or better on the AP exam. So within the AP exam, I just want to give you an idea of the assignments that we'll be having. I center everything in our classroom to push the students to be able to be well prepared for these assignments. This is going to include multiple choice questions, and they'll be stimulus-based, where they have like a political cartoon or an excerpt that they have to respond to within the multiple choice question by selecting the correct answer. And all of these are going to be timed, and students stress about the time, but do not worry. By the time we get to halfway through first semester, we've been working with multiple choice for a long time. Students are well prepared to answer the multiple choice within the time limit and often finish a lot sooner than expected. We will also be working on short answer questions, document-based questions, or long essays. All of those we will do throughout first semester, and they will learn all of those skills at that point, and then we'll practice those skills throughout second semester. So first semester, there's going to be somewhat of a learning curve for students, and that's okay. Some are going to be better in multiple choice, some are going to be better in short answer or the longer essays. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their strengths and improve those, and then we're really going to delve in and work on whatever their weak spot may be in those categories of the exam to get them prepared. Now, what every parent always wants to know at the very beginning of school, the supply list. We're going to keep it really simple. So yes, a 3-ring binder, notebook paper, pens, black or blue ink, or others, but they need to have at least a few black or blue ink pens, pencils. Make sure you get 5 different colored highlighters because we use those in our analysis of student writing. So students will highlight their thesis one color and something else another color to make sure they understand what they're doing and where they're getting things right and where they're missing them. And then one thing I don't have on the supply list but is very important is a device. And we're going to talk about that a little bit on the parent survey, and we'll talk about it the first couple of days of school. But all students will need a device, whether you get it from the school that they are providing devices, and we'll send out more information about that, or whether you bring your own device. But all students will need a device at school so that they can access Canvas, they can access Google Docs, we can do all of our work as much as possible on their own device. And then, of course, if you need one from school, we'll be talking more about that in the first couple days. Okay. And if you have any questions about the supply list, you just let me know. I'm going to give you my email address at the very end of this so you can contact me anytime. The first day of school, students will also be getting a syllabus, and we will go through the syllabus in detail. You will be able to take the syllabus home so the students can show you, the parents, and it has everything up there that you would need. This is including the textbooks that will be provided for your student, my information, all kinds of stuff. Okay. We will also be using Remind throughout the year. Parents are more than welcome to sign up for the Remind. You can sign up where I text on Remind constantly, so the students will be getting reminders for, hey, you have an upcoming test. Hey, don't forget about this. This assignment's due. If I notice there's a neat article or a new video that just came out about something we're talking about or going to talk about, I'll share it out through Remind. So just know that you're going to get a significant amount of reminds if you do sign up for that, but you'll definitely be aware of everything that's going on in class that way. Okay. And then last but certainly not least is a parent survey. So if you will go to this tiny URL site, A Push Parent, and you can fill out the survey. It's going to ask you questions about your student, contact information, things of that sort. And then my email address is at the very bottom of this. Since I was not available to be here in person during open house night, I really encourage you, if you have any questions at all, you just email me at any time now throughout the semester. I usually respond, within a 24-hour period. Or sooner, hopefully. So just never hesitate, even if you think it's a small question, you can certainly email me. And please also encourage your students. Like, if your students have questions, I need them to be able to text me or Remind. I need them to be able to communicate with me through email as well. That's really the first contact that I want to make sure that we have solid is with the students as they go through questions and things of that sort. So make sure you have that. And if you will make sure to complete this parent survey within, hopefully tonight, but if you can't do it tonight, within the first week of school. Just a couple of additional things that I do want to point out. We will be using Canvas for all of our materials, and I'll be sending out assignments, most of them, if not all. I'll be sending out information to the parents based on the survey to your email addresses about how you can sign up on Canvas so that you can see what your student is doing. You can look at grades in Canvas, although that will not be their final average. Their final average will always be in PowerSchool, because there may be some assignments, particularly students in class, that are doing assignments in class that I'm going to put into PowerSchool rather than into the Canvas grades. And we'll use Remind. I said that. Also, regardless of whether you're virtual or you're partly in person, whether A or B week, make sure that you're checking Canvas on a daily basis. We are going to be doing activities and assignments every day, and it's going to continue on. So it's not something that if you decide one day you're not going to participate or you have other stuff going on, you're going to be playing catch up, and you may not be able to complete that assignment. So it's very important for each school day that you kind of keep up, particularly if you're watching in class, that kind of thing. Obviously, if you're sick or have something going on that you were unable to complete that assignment, you'll be able to, but it may be a little more difficult. So you don't want to get behind. Just please try to stay with your daily assignments, making sure that you participate in those. One last thing, because of social distancing needs, students, we will be in the lecture hall rather than in my room. It may say room 316 on your schedule, but we will be in the lecture hall since we have a large number of students that are participating in person, either on A or B weeks. We need the space, so that's where we will be. And so on those days, just make sure that you come to the lecture hall first rather than room 316. If our numbers level out with schedule changes or things like that, then we may come back into my room once I know that we can be socially distanced appropriately to do that. And then make sure that if you have any questions, I can certainly send the link. If you have not received it, parents, you can email me. But any questions you have about social distancing or the procedures at school, I'm certainly able to answer those questions and help you out as much as possible. Communication is very important to me, so I really want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Also, if you would like to meet with me one-on-one through Zoom, since I wasn't available to answer questions necessarily tonight, you can email me and we can set that up. I'm super excited about this year. I'm super excited about teaching your students and teaching American history, which I love to do. So anyway, I hope you have a great night and enjoy meeting the rest of your teachers. And I'm looking forward to the year. Thank you so much.